Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Told you I was coming in the drop top. Told you I was coming non-stop. Told you I was coming with my big dreams. Told you I was coming on the mainstream. Told you I was coming trying to prove with the best of the best, baby, that's just what I do. Told you I was coming with the thick chicks. Eat the pasta, baby, you can know the breadsticks. Told you I was coming with the big boys. Told you I was coming with the big toys. Told you I was coming with the military. Told you I was coming, now you're looking scary. Told you I was coming for the big stage. Told you I was coming, now I'm here to stay. Told you I was coming with the Bugatti, the Annie, and the hooker in the backseat, baby.
Good morning this morning, and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of November 2023, and you are on the clock with Erin, Greene. Well, we start the show with the most important notice. Today is the day of the by-election in West Grand Bahama and Bimini. And we are not talking politics today. In fact, it is against, quote-unquote, the law. And so I want to read for you the public notice from IRCA about political broadcasts and political advertisements. So you all understand why we not talking politics today. Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, IRCA, issues this notice in accordance with Section 8(1)(e) of the Communications Act, 2009. The Commonwealth of the Bahamas will hold a by-election in the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency on the 22nd of November, 2023, today. In preparation for the advance poll and election day, IRCA reminds its broadcast licensees of the Code of Practice for Content Regulation, ECSO8/2020, the code, specifically Part 6, Political Broadcasts and Political Advertisements. Part 6 of the code sets the standards applicable to the broadcast of political advertisements and election programs, both preceding and during a parliamentary general election. Specifically, IRCA reminds its broadcast licensees of their obligation to comply with the provisions of the code relative to political broadcasts and political advertisements on advance polling day, election day, by-election day, and referendum day until the close of all polling stations. To access the complete Code of Practice for Content Regulation, ECSO8/2020, please visit IRCA's website, ircabahamas.bs. And that will give you some insight into the rules that govern broadcasts on and surrounding election days. I get a text here, I get texts to say, since we can't talk politics, let's talk culture. They say, which is the king of the Christmas table, the turkey or the ham? Well, we're going to get back to that question, because I like that question very much. Let's get the show started as I await my guests. I am expecting guests from the Antiquities, Monuments, and Museums Corporation to join us today to talk about the second annual festival at historic Fort Charlotte. And while we have AMMC staff in studio, Mr. Nuri and I want to continue our conversation about names, where we're from, family trees, the importance of maintaining a legacy, a number of things we want to continue talking about this morning as we await our guests and when they arrive. So before we get to that portion of the show, let me remind you about the Sand Dollar on the Clock giveaway. We're giving away sand dollars again. Every week, 6 listeners can win 30 digital Bahamian dollars if they get the correct answer and they have a digital wallet. When you call in, give the producer your name and cell number and wallet provider. Include wallet provider and custom name in texts. Download a digital wallet right now because every Tuesday and Thursday, you can be a winner. So remember to tune in tomorrow with your digital wallet in hand, which is easy because it's on your phone, and you may be a winner. Thank you, Texter. Yeah, D the Entertainer told you I was coming. I just love that song. It feels like a woman's anthem, right? But like not necessarily the typical anthem. It's like the individual anthem. That's a powerful song, especially for young women, right? So I told you I was going to make something of myself. I told you I was going to be a success. I told you I was coming. I love that song. I love that song. I see Mr. Nuri has joined me this morning for our regular On the Clock Guardian Radio AM Man Down Mashup Wednesday.
Yes. What are you saying about today?
I read the notice just now.
Yes, because I saw it and I said, I need you to analyze it for me. Because I want to talk about culture still.
Yeah.
But can we talk about politics today?
No.
No talk about politics at all?
No. And in fact, if you call in, just remember that we're not talking politics today.
We haven't spoken about politics all week, though, coincidentally.
Right. Now, people say, well, politics isn't necessarily by-election.
Yeah.
Right? But what we do is we're going to avoid creating an environment that could be perceived as if we're talking about the by-election.
Actually, I've started crafting a show for tomorrow. I hope you're available.
Okay.
Post-by-election analysis.
Oh, yes, please.
And it's going to be based on social media responses.
Okay.
Like what was trending during the by-election, what was proclaimed during the by-election, right. And then analyzing that. The humor. It's going to be a humor show.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And analyzing that.
Okay.
Right. The declarations, the charges, and stuff like that. So
Okay.
Tomorrow should be an interesting day and see where that goes.
Right. And so speaking to the rules again, my interpretation of the rules lead me to avoid any conversation that can even lead to or represents an intersection with the by-election, right? And as media personalities, right? So whether you are a journalist, investigative reporter, a talk show host like us, even a caller or a texter, your speech today must be limited, right? And we avoid talking about election and politics until polling stations close. Again, you can find the code on IRCA's website, ircabahamas.bs.
Perhaps in the future we need to do a show on that, the analyzing IRCA's mandate regarding
the code for broadcasting.
Yeah, the code for does it go towards social media?
Right. The
responsibility,
extent to which
yeah.
it regulates speech on social media, or does that space rely on typical laws like slander and libel, right? That are already in the criminal code, and then on the civil side, right? Because you could sue someone for defamation or slander without necessarily going through the criminal side. Absolutely, and I think it'd be great for the listeners to get a sense of why some hosts manage their show the way that they do, right? And especially the question of why some of us, like myself, have an itchy trigger finger on that drop button. Because there's an awesome responsibility to protect the institution or the entity that you're working for by moderating your show to prevent the risk of a breach occurring. So, Mr. Nuri, we are actually waiting on representatives from AMMC to join us to talk about the second annual festival at historic Fort Charlotte.
I'm excited about it, right? I missed the first one. I ended up going to work, but I wanted to attend this one for sure. So I want to know what is being offered, how they're going to use the space, right? Are there any charges? Because, my family kind of biggish. My family kind of biggish. So that was what I wanted them to come and explain.
Well, listen,
Go ahead.
what you have planned for your hour, Mr. Nuri?
I was talking culture again.
Well, let's start the culture section now. Let's get into that conversation, and then we wait for their arrival. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's what we do. We want to do a reverse?
Well, I mean, it's Man Down Mashup Wednesday.
Okay.
What's that wrestling move when you standing up, right? And you holding the opponent in the air.
Suplex.
And then all of a sudden, you on the ground, and the person who looked like they was swinging like a monkey is the one who dominating you. What that move is?
I don't do dominatrix.
I'd say wrestling, sir, wrestling.
I don't do that wrestling. No. I don't like getting pinned down.
You never watched WWE?
I stopped that when I was
You don't
young.
like the type of theatrics?
When I realized it was fake, I said, no, I ain't watching this no
See,
more.
pause. How could you call wrestling fake, sir?
When you
Let's talk about culture. Is this Bahamian culture?
when you slam somebody with a chair
Yeah.
and they get up,
Yeah.
that's fake.
No, that's real. I can tell you why.
The reason why I know it's fake,
Yeah.
because when I was around 8, 9, right?
Yeah.
I tried that. My mom didn't like it because when I slam her with that chair, yeah.
You were in a death match and you realized you were the one who's
So
gonna die.
I stopped watching.
Win or
I stopped-
lose.
When I stopped watching wrestling.
Yeah, no. See, it can't be fake. I tell you why. Because if you hit me
With a chair?
or if you pick me up in there and slam me on the ground, I'm
Yeah.
going to die.
Yeah.
Right? Those guys train to take that beating.
You ever played pile driver?
No.
That's not a good
I
experience.
watched. I played. Don't play. There's a game called Don't Play Pile Driver where
Mm-hmm.
you have to avoid being pile driven. See, I played that game.
Yeah. No, I played pile driver. It hurts your neck. I can tell you that.
Right, and so the point I'm making is that those athletes, because they are athletes, they have to train to be able to sustain that type of engagement. See, like even when it's a fake show, you still have to prepare for it.
They need to explain that to children because growing up, I played wrestling a lot until I realized it's fake, and it was painful. I didn't like it. That body slam thing on the board, no.
You used to watch wrestling on ZNS on Saturday morning?
Saturday morning with Tyree Pride.
Ah, the Haitian sensation.
Yeah. Kevin Solomon,
Yeah, Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was our thing. I mean, when I say that was our
Lex
thing.
Luthor.
When I said that was our thing, what I meant was that came on ZNS, and ZNS was the only thing to watch. So that became our thing.
Yeah.
Because we were watching TV.
Yeah.
Whatever was on it, we was going to watch it.
Yes.
That's old culture.
Yes.
You think we'll ever bring wrestling back to the Bahamas?
I remember Gordon Soley and meeting him at one point in time when he came to the Nassau Stadium
Yeah.
on what that is. That's off Bay Street. No, I try and picture where it is.
Fowler Street.
Fowler Street, which is off Kemp Road,
Well, so Fowler-
East Bay Street.
Fowler Street is the extension
Kemp Road.
of Kemp Road from Shirley Street to Bay Street.
Okay. Yeah.
So once you cross over Shirley Street heading north, it becomes Fowler Street.
Okay.
I
And
see we have a call their producer. So you met who?
Gordon Soley
I want to see who this caller met.
and Kevin Solomon.
And Kevin
Sullivan. Yeah. Of course, I thought he was Conky Joe Bahamian, but apparently he ain't Bahamian.
No.
Yeah,
it
but
could be.
I thought he was Conky Joe Bahamian.
I mean, he could be.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller. You're on the clock.
A pleasant good morning, Miss Greene.
Sparky, question. You ever wrestle at the Nassau Stadium?
No, but I used to wrestle inside St. Thomas More Schoolyard.
I mean, officially as a school sport or for fun?
No, that's just the guys going up there messing around. You know, you mess with me. If we don't throw bottle or rock at you, we grab you and we wrestle in the dirt.
Tussle.
In Eastern Senior Schoolyard, in St. Thomas More Schoolyard, and things like that.
Like, was that...
You ever gone skating and come down Zedden, we call it Zedden Hill, or Hawkins Hill, or Centerville Hill, coming down there with Union 5? And you got to stop when you reach the bottom, and they got sand at the bottom. You got to know how to put your leg behind one another and use one leg as brakes. Because you got Union 5s and Union 7s and JCs.
There's a type of
skates. You buy them from General Hardware.
Okay.
But I I want to give you, I always can give you some history.
Yes, sir.
Because I got a lot of remembrance. Because, let me tell you something. Y'all talking about Tyree Pride and them. Now, ZNS, what y'all was watching, was opened by the Queen in June of 1977, the same year my second daughter was born. You understand? She's 46 now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before I was even married, when I was a little teenager, we used to walk to Dowsville, Fowler Street, to the Nassau Stadium, where they used to have boxing. They used to have boxing at the Birdland on Mount Royal Avenue. They have to have boxing to the Nassau Stadium, the Charlie Major and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they used to have wrestling there.
Sparky, let me ask you a question. Quick.
If we couldn't get inside, we used to have ladder building. We used to climb the ladder and look over the wall.
The adventures, man. Sparky, let me ask you a question. You talk about wrestling. You talk about the skating, but wrestling and boxing, right? Let me ask you a question. When you were younger, were young men engaged in activity like that just as a part of the normal social setting? The neighborhood wrestling and boxing. Like, did y'all do that sort of for fun, but also as a rite of passage among young men when you were younger?
I remember in Culmersville, there was a man named Mr. Culmer, right behind the wall of St. George's, used to teach us little karate and thing in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember us doing no wrestling and boxing other than you do that in the Nassau Stadium, or you go to the Birdland where they used to have boxing matches, and they used to have the little kids category, and as it went up to the professional category, like Boston Blackie and them.
Okay.
You see, Boston Blackie and all of them, Tidal Wave and all of them, they was the professional. They used to box for money.
Yeah.
But then you got some of us, like God Stans and a lot of people down the valley, they used to box like for the fun. They used to get a little trophy or something like that.
Yeah. Sparky, I will ask you another question. Yesterday I actually had as one of my trivia questions when did ZNS first broadcast, right? You answered the question today in October 1977, right?
No, it's June 1977.
June.
See, the day I remember that because my daughter was born in February 1977, Nation of Verona. But also, when the Queen came to open up ZNS, I was in charge. I was the president of a CB club, Citizen Band Radio, in our cars.
Right.
And then we decided what we would do as a gift for ZNS. We met at Chicken Unlimited down on Robertson Road, and we had a motorcade where all us dressed in white pants, red shirts, and we put a red flag on top of our antennas on the back of the car. We had a motorcade, we call it, up Blue Hill Road to St. Barnabas. We turned east on Wolf Road. We turned north on Collins Avenue by Columbus Primary, and we motorcaded up through the corner where Oxford Medical Lab is, where Fort Terrace Diagnostic Center is, and then we went up the hill, what they call ZNS Hill, and all us parked in the backyard, and ZNS was putting on their first show called Focus with Charles Carter, Kelsey Johnson, and Ed Bettel. They was putting on their first show named Focus, and we went in the backyard, and we had barrels of champagne, sodas, sandwiches, and everything for the staff. And a fella by the name of Bob Thompson he had the camera taking a picture of us coming up the hill. And I've been asking them from that time, can I see a picture or a video of that motorcade? And they could have never find the video to this day. They don't know what Bob Thompson, and he dead and gone, what he did with that video.
You mean Bob Thompson from the Rusty Nail?
Yeah,
East
Bob
Street.
Thompson, right next door to your
Yeah.
Yeah, the same Bob Thompson and Russ. You know his brother Russ and everything.
Yeah.
Russ, you know Russ died. Russ died the other day.
I know. Rest in peace. One of the revolutionaries, one of the critical thinkers. Sparky, before I go, I have a question to ask you. The advent of the television in the Bahamas, did the presence of the television shift culture? We know that it did, but did it initially shift culture drastically when it first started? Like, did it instantly pull people away from their regular social activities? And did you begin to see those sort of things break down because people were now congregating around the television?
Well, personally, I don't remember all of that because I was rather young. I was only around 25, and I was into my own thing.
Right, you would live in the world.
Before that, we only had the black and white Zenith TV. You got channel 7, 4, and 10. Everything was American, and what the man named the Lone Ranger and all of them things, them cowboy movie and thing.
Yeah.
But around that time, 25, I wasn't much into no TV.
No,
I was into my nightclub and stage and womanizing and thing. Around 25, and I was very handsome and tall. They used to call me Elvis Presley.
Okay,
I was a handsome, you know what?
Yes, sir. I got to go now, Sparky. Thank you very much.
Before you go, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I might not have no degree and thing like that from no university, but I got a lot of remembering.
Yes, and it's very valuable. And those of us who think that all it takes is academia and academics, right? Those of us who think that the only thing that has value is our perception of intellectualism, we miss the point. We miss the point that what you do has no value. It has no value if it's not done for the whole. It has no value if it doesn't understand how it has to connect to the whole and to these types of stories. And because these types of stories also reflect a different type of intellectualism, right? A different type of learning, a different type of reading the world. And all of these things are valuable and all of these things are important. Mr. Nuri, and we got another caller coming on, and I hope they call in to tell us a story as well. But let me not take you off of your culture track at all. We got some text here. One text say, what's the king of Christmas, ham or turkey? As we wait for the caller. What's the king of Christmas, ham or turkey?
As you know, as I know, that we all know, that is ham and turkey. It's not ham or turkey.
Oh, this is a different type of Christmas, sir.
No, you have to choose it.
This may be one of them where you have to choose.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then we have to recognize that every day many of us are actually choosing.
Does sliced ham and sliced turkey is the same as big ham and big turkey?
If you slice it off, the big ham and the big turkey.
But
you mean like deli slices?
Yeah. You just bake it, eh?
It'll work. No, it'll work in a pinch.
But can I bake it and season it off and like steam it down?
Okay, here's what you do. You go to the deli and you get thick slice cut, right? So you say you can't buy a whole turkey. You can't buy a whole ham. Now, remember what's available is also you could just buy the turkey breast. You don't have to buy the whole turkey, right? But if you can't afford the whole turkey breast, go to the deli and ask them to cut the turkey and the ham, but ask them to make it a very thick slice. So as opposed to a deli sandwich slice, it's more like a pork chop slice.
Do you think I can feed 4 people?
If you get 4 slices.
That's the same price as the big one. Just buy the big one time.
No, I mean, but I think it would be the same price as maybe just buying a turkey breast to bake, but not the whole turkey. But I appreciate the point you're making.
I'm not really a breast man, though.
I don't think you eat turkey at all, sir.
I'm a eater.
You use a ham. That's what you are.
Let's go to the caller there. Caller. Caller, can you hear me?
Good morning, caller. Remember, we're not talking.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. I can hear you, sir. Just a reminder that we're not talking politics or by-election
yes,
today.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning. I said like that one which you say. You ain't too much know how to play the game. How to get? I mean, to pile driving, but you know how to play. Not to get
pile drive. Yeah, that's my game.
I ain't had no old story, but I had one or two questions, and I was wondering if y'all aware if they did do any, or if they have anything planned, like a candlelight vigil for the child what they find in the bush somewhere or somewhere.
Ah, boy, hey.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is anything has been planned yet because, the parents have been detained and charged. And so...
But I mean us.
Just
I
a
mean,
general
not just
public
his family, but us. I know the Marco Archer's family might have pushed the vigil or one, and the Bella one. Mm-hmm. They might have pushed it, and I know this ain't a female, it's a male, but it's still a child, a human being.
Yeah.
I was wondering because it's so sickening. We don't know the details, how it happened, right?
Right.
Or who really responsible for doing it. But when you hear them kind of things, it's really be sickening. I don't really like adults who's killing, hurt children. I don't be into that. I like them to remember that, if they need help or they can't deal with these children, they must really try to see if they could get someone who could help out because they have a responsibility when they don't bring these children in the world. And I just was wondering about that. And then I was asking Dwight this morning, but I didn't hear what he said after I hang up where I was be doing something. But I listened to the news yesterday, and I listened to the news today, and they say when tourists might get attacked or killed, but they ain't find the body yet from shark.
Oh boy!
And that's one, and I say, but it's a lot of not just people generally, but tourists them here in the Bahamas for the last year where the things them happening where they either losing their life, and I was wondering if they should put a ban on that shark feeding thing.
Well, look here. That's a great
I hang up and listen, y'all. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, man. Thank you. So first things first, Mr. Newry, are you aware of any vigils being organized in the Fox Hill community for the small child?
And I am not, but the idea that it's being called for, I'm sure there'll be a response. And sometimes we need to be reminded, I think we were caught up in the tragedy itself. And then the circumstances of the parents being arrested after that, we are still in that trauma. Yeah. So I'm not sure if the churches or the community in the wider has say, let's pause for a bit. But now that there is a clarion call for it, I'm sure there will be a response.
Right, because I imagine that there's grief in that community, right? So sure, the loss of the child, right? The grief of the parents who must be in a state reconciling with their own culpability, right? It's just tremendous. But the community itself also grieves, right? The community itself also wrestles with what went wrong and what could we have done. And the vigil becomes a type of therapy for the community, right? That is also grieving. Producer, let's go to that caller. But we get to the second question. You remember the second question Papa put on the table. Papa, I'm going to get back to that. The allegation or trying to verify whether this is a true story. And we'll talk about recklessness and standards in these industries. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Erin. Good morning, CA.
Good morning. How you do?
Man, everything blessed. But CA, you break up so much memories, but now don't forget Dusty Rose and Blackjack Mulligan and Barry Windham.
I remember Blackjack. I remember the Windham family.
Blackjack Mulligan, yeah.
Yeah.
But like you say, you ain't lie though. When we were smaller, man, in the 80s, like the early 80s, but we used to row with our friends. That wrestling is real, babe. We used to really become a nut tell us that wrestling is fake.
Yes.
We used to want row and thing, babe.
Yes.
But after that, like how you say now, mom and me really find out like all that Vince McMahon and all that show and that acting and all of that and Booker T them. Yeah, man, there's a bunch of it's what they call it, fake entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, babe.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying, because I'm glad that now me and you could be friends who could row. Because I believe it real. What I say?
But if you jump off the top rope down with your knee in someone's chest,
yeah,
and thing like that, there's somewhere to see, and the canvas is bumps, and then the next knee is hit first before the next knee hit your chest. There's a lot of like I say, The Rock and all of them. The Rock wife was panicking and things when she see him in the ring, but he had to explain to them, man, all that is fake, man. And see, I been to that fight too, which was by the NASA Stadium too, long time in the 80s by Charlie Major Jr. Place.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I see Tyree Pride live too and everything like that fight too, but that wrestling match was over here.
It's good to have international events, to see international stars amongst you, so it's very impressive being able to say, I know him from TV.
For real. But Ric Flair was the godfather though. Ric Flair, babe, if he don't bleed, something ain't wrong, but hey, Dusty Rhodes could have bleed too, but in them chain link match too, boy. But
what was Ric Flair shout? What would Ric Flair shout out loud?
Can you?
There you go.
Listen, and that is the signal.
I was a wrestling freak, but I went back in the day. I was him and Hulk Hogan. Yeah. They make the most money out of the ring, though.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan was able to turn his wrestling career into a lifelong income generator.
Right, like kids' lunch and backpack and all them type of kids' books and things. Right. Like that.
Now, tell me this. Was Hulk Hogan ever on the Wheaties box? Because that's the only thing you could say to me, Miss Greene. Hulk Hogan was not on the Wheaties box. That's how you know wrestling is fake. But what I'm saying is, I can't take... If the boy jump off the top rope and drop one knee on the mat face and the second knee on my chest, I still could die.
Yeah, you see Vince McMahon them and thing like had the table outside there and even Donald Trump was involved in all of that and thing, and they throw the man over on they have them little tin table with the bricks so easy in the middle, and
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Link up. You all have a good day.
Do it one more time, Mr. Nuri. Woo! No, that ain't it. No, that's not it. It's woo!
There you go. But you can do the walk, though.
No, I can't do the walk.
You got to do the walk.
Let's go to the next caller. Good morning, caller. And forgive Mr. Nuri. He was there. Yeah. But when you watch it from TV...
It sound differently.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Nuri and Miss Greene.
Good morning. How you do?
Yeah, I like the youngsters calling. They told me they knew wrestlers. I would have remembered when my father used to take us to the Cat and the Fiddle. Would it be north of COB, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember Jack and Jerry Briscoe and the Great Malenko. All right, I remember the fight with them. And then back in the days too, we used to have the car stuntmen come over to the sports center too, So I don't know why they discontinued these things. These have all the guys come and jump the buses, the cars, all those things.
Hold on, you mean
they never promoted it in the proper way.
Hold on, 52. You mean like when I'm watching videos of these car shows in L.A. and in California?
Yeah, Evel Knievel and all those stuff. I don't mean about Evel Knievel, I think, but I know we used to have guys come
like Evel Knievel.
School buses and all those stuff. Yeah, they used to do all that at the sports center, and we used to actually. Sometimes we used to climb the trees and just watch it, or we used to pay to go in and all that. But it used to be a fun time. So I don't know why the country has moved in a different
direction.
So much the boat races just came subsequently, but there's a lot of history in these things. And I would have been very young, so this would have been in the 60s and the early 70s.
Yeah, man. See, these are the stories. Thank you, 52. These are the stories that we need to figure out how to document and which you keep. These are the things that should be running on ZNS all the time. Little mini documentaries about these experiences. And maybe we started we start with the 50s, and then the 60s, then the 70s, then the 80s, right? And we do a review, and we capture as many stories as possible. And Mr. Nuri, that's why we need like a museum, right?
Yeah.
We need a museum to create a system that people could plug into. And you just say, look here, Mom, call us. We'll organize a bus to come through the community, pick you up, bring you to the museum, and you could sit and record, or we'll come and bring a mini recorder to your community.
When I was younger, Erin, before we go on this commercial break, right? Christmas time, we had to go to the Dragonair's person.
Byron Lee and the Dragon.
I want to know how important that is to Bahamian culture. Is that Bahamian culture going to the concert during Christmas time?
Yeah.
You know, not the concert itself, but the idea that going to the concert is event. You know?
Absolutely.
What is blackout, whiteout? All are these things now a part of Bahamiano? What we see ourselves as?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait till our guests finally arrive, right? So we can even query and ask about that too as we talk about
and whether the AMMC captures that as a part of its agenda or its mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's take a short commercial break.
We'll be right back.
The holiday season is upon us, and everyone's going to be looking for those special items on their gift list. Merchants, here's your opportunity to have your products placed in the Nassau Guardian's Holiday Gift Guide. This year, shoppers are going to be searching for perfect presents at the right price. Anything from a family island weekend getaway to electronics, jewelry, and even clothes. For one low price, you can have your ads published twice this December in the Nassau Guardian's Holiday Gift Guide. Deadline for registration is Wednesday, November 30th. Be sure to contact your Nassau Guardian sales agent or call the Nassau Guardian directly at 302-2300. Be sure to ask about our 30-second Christmas radio commercial bonanza.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
The Nassau Guardian's Holiday Gift Guide. Our gift to you. Because Christmas is...
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Tonight's big matchup with Infection United is about to start. Kate has possession of the flu. She coughs up a pass across to Steve, who gives it to William. William is causing headaches on the field. He spreads it to Rachel, who scores a hospital bed.
Don't play with respiratory infections like influenza or COVID-19. They can lead to hospitalization and even death. Advise patients to keep a safe distance, practice good hygiene, and get vaccinated. Don't play with their health.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, PAHO WHO, and the Canadian government.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's 3 a.m. and I'm waiting for the sun. Lost track of the days, man. Look at this, ain't no fun. Cell phone in my left hand, TV on my right. My mouth extra dry, cause there ain't no rum inside. Longing for the days when I was wild and free. Out to everything with lick, not a care or worry. Now it's like I've joined the clan of HMP, but I ain't commit no crime, so please set me free. Loose me, let me go. I don't want to be inside no more. Loose
Let me out, let me out. This is the first time I actually could hear the words of the song so crisp and clear to, you know, when you see into the words.
Yeah.
I appreciate this version.
Yeah, so this is acoustic, not a cover, because that's Nishi LS, with Gary the guitarist. Now, Gary the guitarist is a member of the Royal Bahamas Police Force band. Now, I'm not sure if he's a member of both the band and the pop band, but that young man,
he can play.
He's tremendous. He's a Renaissance artisan, right? I think photography as well as composition, as well as playing the guitar. The beautiful thing about it is just like you said, that because he offered the acoustic guitar for this version, when we get to hear it in a whole
You hear the music.
Yeah.
And then you get to see in it and say, hey, that's nice. It's a good song.
Right. And you know what I thought about? I went straight back to the story Sparky was telling us, right? That song is heralded as a COVID anthem, right? Loose me, let me go. But you know who that song belonged to?
Who belonged to?
That belonged to the children. That's the song the children play when the bell ring at the end of school. Loose me, let me go.
Wow.
I tired of the school, don't want to be here no more.
Let's go to the caller, Erin.
Good morning.
I also want to talk about the Renaissance period. a black renaissance. No, May, a Bohemian Renaissance period.
Okay.
But let's go to the caller.
Good morning, caller. Sorry about the long wait. Caller?
Okay. So let's talk about the Bohemian Renaissance period, right?
Okay.
I was looking at the Harlem Renaissance period and going over their poetry and the arts and saying, my gosh, this is a great time. People were producing. I don't know what was the impetus to have a Harlem Renaissance period where people are now cited and quoting that time as one of the greatest time in African American history, right? In terms of production in the arts. And I'm thinking now, how can we do that here in the Bahamas? What could cause a Renaissance period where Bahamians are producing art and culture, poetry, songs, and the like, right? Because we're thirsty for it. You hear Bahamians saying, oh, we need more of this. And then you hear the Bahamians are saying that the tourists want this. But who is cultivating this type of Renaissance period where money's being made? Because I'm not just saying, hey, I want to produce it, but I can form a career, craft a career around it.
So watch this. When you started saying that, I thought Pat Raming. That's Renaissance man. Music, poetry.
Yeah, that's a bygone era, though.
No, but hold on. And he's not. See, here's the thing. He's not quite bygone yet, right? Architecture, so design, arts, poetry, music, composition. Solo made Renaissance, right? Johnny Cake. This guy, all kinds of genres. He's making short films now, right? We have all the elements of the Renaissance movement, period, here, right now. What we don't have is a system of patronage to support, right?
So how, because I need to go to the caller, but I want to know, how do we do that? Can you do that in like a couple of seconds so I go to the caller?
Well, we have to inspire the influential and affluential among us to not just put money into, but to devote their resources and networking to supporting and providing space for these people to create. You see,
long and short, you said rich people need to do more.
Yeah, you see when Dr. Thane Campbell came on with the Deep Science Ventures concept, right? That's a part of that concept, that you have these people who, jack of all trades, they say, is a master of none, but that's not the end of that sentence.
We need to start calling names.
They warp that. Let's go to the phone quickly. Good morning, caller.
We're missing this call. We're talking too long here.
Yeah, good morning, caller.
But long and short, Erin.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi,
go ahead.
Here we go. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Man, I had one hot spoonful of grits in my mouth when I can't much time. I'm burning myself.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I could voice your topic back a little bit back to the wrestling, man.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Man, they had one fella used to wrestle one time called Wild Bill Snyder.
I know Wild Bill.
He never win a wrestling match from us watching wrestling.
Okay.
He never win.
That's
one
his
time
job
the
is to
person who was
lose.
supposed to wrestle him didn't show up, and he still get a tie. He even win that one.
See,
but
now,
we had a wrestler one time from Lutra, Curly Hunt. He was a professional wrestler.
Okay.
Curly Hunt.
Pearly Hunt.
He was in the WNB, the W thing.
Okay, WWF.
Yeah, but we're growing up. Yuri wouldn't know about this, because Yuri them is rich, but you might know about this. We used to have to go tote water early in the morning just to be free for 12 o'clock.
I got you.
For wrestling. And you got to tell the time when you walk in the road, you know it's 12 o'clock. There's nobody in the road.
Right, because
doing nothing. Everybody by somebody window. We ain't got no TV. Everybody friending somebody to get in the house to watch wrestling.
Yeah.
So, but wrestling was a good thing. My man, we was young and we knew it was fake, but we still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And that's the act of it. We really enjoyed wrestling.
I didn't believe it was fake until just now when you remind me that Snyder ain't win one match.
No, he ain't win one. And not only that, the person who going to wrestle one time didn't show up, and he still come tie.
Yeah.
Have you ever lariat somebody when you're playing wrestling?
Man, listen to me. Then after wrestling, I used to live by the St. Barnabas graveyard. So we had the people always throw them out the graveyard. We used to have them when the people throw away them old mattress and thing.
Yeah.
Man, we dry them in the graveyard and put one piece of cardboard on top of that. And there's a gentleman, I could call his name. I know you don't mind. This fella, Philip Carey. Everybody want to be tag team with him. Nobody can beat him. Everybody want to be tag team partner. Because once you get in the ring and you tag him, you're straight. You can show you win.
Oh, man, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Man, that's a big good thing. That's a fun thing for us, man. Young people who do them kind of things no more, man.
I have a feeling that the television is really the villain in this story, sir. The television pulled us all away from the things that used to hold us together.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, caller. So I found a quote.
Go ahead.
A jack of all trades is a master of none, is where we think the quote ends.
Yes, I thought the quote would end right there.
But the full quote is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
That's deep, though.
Yeah.
Who knew there was extra?
And I think that in that quote is the answer to what happened to our Renaissance. What happened to our Renaissance is that we believe that you had to be a master of one, right? It's better than a jack of all trades.
Yes.
And we don't see the value of the resources we have available to us, nor do we know how to extract that value.
Let's go to this last caller. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good morning, man. You're all talking about my favorite show, wrestling. I remember when I was young, my brother and I was wrestling one day, and he threw me on the bed, and he went to do a splash and broke my wrist. My wrist still giving me trouble today. Had to be reconstructed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, I have to wear a band up to the day.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard y'all talk about the antenna.
Oh, to watch the TV?
Yeah, when you had to turn it to catch the signal.
Yeah. Now,
and somebody got to be on the roof to say, right there. No, go back. And if you had a booster on yours, you was really saying something.
Yeah.
He's rich.
Yeah, man, we had booster. And that had to come out of my back then. Everything came out of Miami. But when you had antenna, you was saying something. But don't miss it, have a booster, too.
Now, let me ask you a question. How did y'all decide in your family who was going to be the remote control?
Oh, no, remote control wasn't around then.
No, you was the remote control.
Oh, yeah. Know, that TV only turned and stayed on that channel.
Yeah.
Like how we flick through channels today, that was unheard of.
Yeah.
Oh, so is my generation.
Yeah.
You turned that on one channel, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, that stayed on. Friday you had the sitcoms.
Yeah.
On Saturday, and then on Sunday it was documentaries.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't no turning no bunch of channels.
When Corinne let us off the side porch, I was Daddy-O remote control.
Oh, you had remote control back in
No, I was the remote control.
Oh, you mean you were? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, man, let me put that on the channel that stayed there.
I got you.
And when somebody go on the roof, and these children don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
And you got to catch that signal, turn the antenna, and you got to go like what we call a ski taste. Just a little inch. Huh?
Imagine me going to QC and Leela Greene talk about, Erin, you got to go on the roof and adjust the antenna.
That's right.
I have to ask if she know how this insurance set up.
But if that's your favorite show, ain't nobody got to tell you that.
No, sir.
And on Saturday, 12 o'clock, for some reason, the signal didn't come the same way all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is your talk. I can remember those days.
I appreciate you calling.
Because I got my wrist right here to remind me every day.
Oh,
you call your brother now. Call him.
Don't mean I got over that.
Okay, good stuff.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Having a break wrist and the ET thing to do with it.
Oh, no, I here recovering with my break foot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Can't walk in these heels yet. Zed, I have a text for you to end the show. Producer, choose any one of those songs off that list to end the show, or at least this half of our Wednesday mashup session. Our guests are in studio and we are talking festival at historic Fort Charlotte. Here's the text. ZNS TV 13 signed on with our national anthem for the first time on Monday, the 4th of July, 1977, the U.S. Independence Day, about a week before our 4th independence anniversary. Sparky was way off on that date. Yes, Focus was the first program. The late Kelsey Johnson, the late Charles Carter, and the late Ed Bethel made up the featured panel. Sesame Street was the second program. Now, when I went online it says October 20th, 1977, actually.
I'm just glad that we had Sesame Street from way back then.
Yes, babe.
That's why we learned how to count in Spanish.
That's right, a culture of appreciation for education.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Sesame Street brought for us.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. You know I can speak Spanish. Es bilingual. Siete, ocho,
Sir.
nueve. Yes.
You bilingual?
I can count in Spanish.
I'm multilingual.
Yeah?
Yes, I interpret pidgin, podcake, Bahamian Sign Language, even wrestling, Ric Flair.
Okay, then tell me what I say.
You talking foolishness, Miss Greene.
Just making sure.
I know what you're saying about me on the radio.
Just making sure.
You guys, thanks for tuning
This has
in.
been On the Clock with Erin Greene.
Stay tuned. Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Nuri and the rest of our Wednesday Man Down mashup session.
No?
He'd say we'll be right back.
There you go.
Don't try this at home. Hey! Look here. You only see where my partner going here. When mother said, you mean to tell me I dance in that bar? Hey, boy, look here. Come here, boy. Hold the string for me. Hey!